Good afternoon, this is Airpost Creations 2021. This is my Shaman Oracle reading for this new week. Today is Tuesday, and I am continuing reading for Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. And this reading here is for Virgo. Welcome, Virgo. I'm using 5 decks, and the reading starts with Astrology of You and Me. And the card is the Virgo romantic partner. Strengths are being structured, being orderly, and always prepared. Weaknesses are being compulsive, tight, and unyielding. The interactive style of the Virgo romantic partner is being calculated, precise, and always seeking order. The precision-loving Virgo becomes very obvious or apparent when a Virgo is planning for the future. Virgo leaves little room for any errors in their need to have things just right, and sometimes you might wish that they leave a bit of space for last-minute changes, but Virgo plans through everything, and in the end you might be even thankful that they did, since this spares you time and lots of trouble. So a Virgo romantic partner is the one who gives a relationship a structure, and Virgo will preserve this structure but also set limits within them. Card number 2 is the Path of Light Oracle, and out came the Upward Path. And it has a very long message, so get prepared. It is or starts, this upward path is starting to say that to move off our past fear, control, anger, and do not harm anything. So study the scriptures, have goodwill for everyone, and put others ahead of yourself. Buddha said in the Dhammapada, our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. And it continues, the whole message here, that we can either cultivate and grow the destructive qualities of the lower self that lead to the downward path of bondage and suffering, or we can choose to nurture and develop the divine qualities within the self that leads to the upward path of freedom and fulfillment for us. So whatever we think about and we focus on, we will move toward, act upon, and ultimately bring into existence. Our dominant thoughts and actions, they become our life, so be mindful and select them with care. These extraordinary verses in the Gita condense the wisdom of the ages into a list of the highest values or virtues to focus on and expand, which will assist in the unfolding of our divine nature. So here comes now the wisdom of the Gita, starting with devotion. Saying to be a disciple of the 3 things, the self, the soul, and God. Follow it above all else, and wherever it may lead you. This is self-reliance, which is dependence on the soul rather than on all the voices on the outside. subordinate the small self to the one, and live in the love of union. Now comes courage. The Greek philosopher Aristotle assigned courage the highest value of all, for in his view it ensured all others. Without courage, we cannot live out any of the other divine qualities of a good character. Most of all, we need a courage to follow the inner voice of the soul and fearlessly act on its guidance, ideas, callings, and ideals. Truth comes next, is what is in actuality, and it is one. In individual reality, there are many perceptions of truth. To orient your life to the truth is to aim at the good, at the upward path that leads to union. It is trying to use your words accurately and honestly, but also lovingly, with the intention of advancement. Next comes love. The love spoken of in the Gita is incomparable to what we usually call love. Regular love is conditional and emotional, fluctuating between like and dislike, attraction and repulsion. True love is unconditional and non-judgmental. It is whole and stable in the unification of two sides. Love is our natural state when our mind is properly aligned, integrated, and equilibrated in the self. Now comes wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to see the truth, to see what is without bias, coloring, distortion, or misperception. Wisdom is having a deep understanding of the nature of life, how it works, and what is important. The way to wisdom, according to yoga, is to study scriptures such as the Gita to acquire the vital knowledge we need and then apply the teachings to our lives. Now comes service. Serving others is grounded in the understanding of oneness, interbeing, and in knowing that we are interrelated and interreliant. When we serve others, we serve all life. We serve the One, we serve God. We can start with our family and then expand out to others from there. Constantly be on the lookout for ways to help out. Now comes kindness. Simple small acts of kindness are an easy way to practice love throughout the day and offer a disproportionate gift in return. So make eye contact with someone and smile or say hi as you walk by on the street. Open the door for someone as you enter or exit a building, and listen deeply to someone instead of waiting for a pause in the conversation to burst in with what you have to say. Now comes compassion. It is compassion that we use to transcend the judgments that keep us trapped in suffering. Through compassion, we open the doorway to love. Compassion arises from the understanding that life is extremely difficult to navigate for all of us. Accordingly, we attempt to understand and love rather than judge someone. Now comes fortitude. Fortitude is the inner strength and mental toughness we need to face when difficulties arise, obstacles come along, misfortune happens, and disasters of life take place. Fortitude is not letting the knocks keep us down, and instead getting up and continuing towards our vision and ideal with dedication and with commitment. Now comes discipline. Be a devout follower of the self and its revealed inspirations and callings. Discipline is an act of self-love, whereby we hold ourselves to live up to our highest vision. It is not allowing our lower habits and tendencies to take us off course. Aristotle said, through discipline comes freedom. The converse is also true. The less disciplined we are, the more we find ourselves ensnared and entangled in the temptations of this world. Now comes self-control and temperance. To stay on track and in alignment with ourselves, we need to show restraint and moderation. Our mantra is nothing to excess, and we are mindful to ensure that our lower nature and its desire for immediate sensory gratification and comfort is not allowed to take over and dictate our behavior. Now comes purity. It is supremely important to pay careful attention to what we consume, both physically and mentally, as our body and mind are a product of what we put in them. So eat mainly fresh, unprocessed foods and not too much. Drink mainly water. Consider what intoxicants you put into your bodily system. On the mental side, be ever mindful of what information you consume, for it all will shape your mind. If you are aiming to be all you can be, fill your mind with the wisdom of the masters and allow it to rub off on you. Now comes simplicity. Our global high technical modern world has become so extraordinarily complex, as have the lives of the billions of people living in our big cities. So simplicity is being satisfied easily and with little work. It is living modestly and sustainably. It is learning to enjoy, as we once did, all the things in life that do not cost anything, which happen to be truly sustaining, instead of all the things that do cost something but do not nourish us. Now comes humility. When the ego is in charge of the mind, we take credit, build ourselves up, and become arrogant. On the other hand, when we align with the self, we are immediately humbled, for we realize that we coexist within everything else. So when things go well, rather than take credit, it is more appropriate to deflect it and say thank you instead. Now comes sincerity. Have the courage to be authentically you, to be true to yourself. Avoid doing things that do not sit right with you. Instead, be genuine and honest in your dealings with others. Resist the temptation to expand, shrink, or withhold the truth. Put your heart and full effort into everything you do. Now comes patience. Patience is an expression of wisdom. The ego is impermanent and therefore impatient. It wants everything now. The self is eternal and therefore is patient, knowing all will unfold as it will, according to the right timetable rather than our own time limits. So when we live in a self, we have patience and we are at peace. And now the final comes generosity. Give freely and with all your heart the qualities of love, kindness, compassion, and patience. Offer your time and effort to help out and serve in any way that you can. If there is a cause that is important, support it in some way. The virtues are the highest ideals of life, and we find them across the world's greatest religious and philosophical traditions. Remembering these values and qualities daily, orienting ourselves towards them, and doing our best to embody them is a wonderful focus for our practice and will enable us to live in alignment with our true self and so become an embodiment of right action. That was a long message. Now comes the next one, the Psychic Tarot card, which is spiritual union. This card deals with relationships involving an emotional bond. It could be between two new lovers, kindred kindred souls, family members, friends, business associates, or partners. It could even relate to a project or a specific situation. This would be the perfect time to realize that all relationships are really about you. So notice when you interact with different people in your life. Are they giving you energy or are they rather taking it away? Is there an even exchange? There should be an equal balance between giving and receiving energy. Relationships are mirrors. They are a mirror image of your own life. They reflect how you feel and treat yourself and how you react and respond to various situations and individuals around you. Each and every union is an opportunity for your soul's growth. The Sacred Destiny card is Diligence, and the Diligence card relates to the fallow field. Traditionally, the fields they were left fallow, meaning unfarmed, for extended periods of time to allow the soil to recover and rebalance its nutrients, to break disease and pest cycles, and to provide a haven for wildlife. Letting fields lie fallow meant that the subsequent crops were much healthier and more vibrant. Engaging in this time-honored process takes patience and takes diligence, but the results are worth the wait. The sacred landscape wants you to know there are times in life to step forward and to take risks, but there are other times to be patient, step carefully and slowly, and know that the benefits you will gain in the future will be worth everything. So be attentive, meticulous, and persistent. Use this time to plan for action steps in the future. Be diligent and consistent at each step as you move forward. And by doing so, you will harvest remarkable results in the years ahead. This is not a time for instant gratification. Your diligence will pay off in the future tenfold. This is the time for deliberate organization. Clean your house, clear out the clutter, be thoughtful about how you spend your time, and be discerning when choosing with whom you spend your time, and clear out any relationship that does not support you. And the last card is the Nature's Whispers card. And that one is shift your energy. Clear your energy, the energy of those around you, and the energy of your environment is the message. Winds of change, they are blowing into your awareness, and in order to prepare you for what is ahead, and in order to prepare you for what is ahead, begin a process of renewal. This process might include clearing away the old that no longer has a purpose in your life. It also might mean changing old habits and patterns that you are ready to release. An example might be actively avoiding overly sugary foods if you are trying to eliminate excessive sugar from your diet. View this as a time of shedding that can be achieved with ease and with grace. That was the reading for you, Virgo. I do thank you for listening, wishing you a joyous day today, wishing you an enjoyable whole week, sending out my love to you. Take care and goodbye.